Okay, so I've been using this iPad Pro 12.9-inch 2021 model for about a week now. Although this is the most powerful iPad that Apple yet to create like ever, I think I might return this. Let me explain why. This year's iPad Pros carries the mighty M1 chip that Apple has created for their ARM-based Mac lineup like last year. And yes, this is powerful, like really powerful. Any apps that I've been using on the iPad, such as video editing, photo editing, gaming, and etc., none of the apps had any type of problem nor crashes on this iPad Pro. You can play video games on max settings, no problem. Video editing / exportings are extremely smooth. Photo editing and graphic designing felt like it was nothing. Even the A14 Bionic chip on iPad Air 4 was able to handle all the stuff that I needed for iPad to do. So of course this M1 chip model can handle those type of tasks with no exceptions. I mean, the M1 is awesome. The CPU performance increased up to 30 to 45% compared to the previous iPad Pro models, which is the A12Z and A12X chip. However, I think the most noticeable difference for average consumer is particularly on the memory side. You see, the base model of this year's iPad Pro is at 128 gigs with the 8 gigs of RAM. 8 gigs of RAM for iPad, it's a lot. For example, iPad Air 4 from last year, which is pretty decent tablet and it works totally fine, it's at 4 gigs of RAM. And even the previous iPad Pros, the RAM size is up to 6 gigs of RAM. This year, you can go up to 8 gigs to 16 gigs if you get the 2TB or 1TB model. Even I got the 8 gigs model, this iPad was performing like a freaking beast. I can open countless of applications in this iPad, and this tablet can still function like it's nothing happened. And another cool thing about it is that you can open up a lot of apps, whether that's creative apps, video game, or other type of apps of your choice. You can go back to the application you were using it and it will open up like you were just using it, which is so crazy. The biggest difference of this year's 12.9-inch is in the display, which is the liquid Retina XDR with mini LED technology, and it's absolutely astonishingly beautiful. The 1:1 contrast ratio on this display makes a tremendous difference compared to, say, traditional Retina display that Apple been using, which is a LCD IPS panel. Since the black in this display is close to pitch black like OLED panel, when you put other iPads and this iPad side by side, the 12.9-inch looks a little bit more 3D-ish. The black is deeper and you can kind of tell the clear separation between black and other colors. So when you're watching videos or images on this iPad, it looks a little more in depth, which is super crazy. And when you watch a HDR content on this model, the top brightness of 1600 nits when you're able to HDR will bright up the highlight in the video, and the video looks so good. And I never got excited from a tablet screen like ever. I'll say this iPad is particularly useful for people who does color grading, loves watching video content on their tablet, and people who does very complex graphic design. Like you've seen those super crazy detailed graphic, yeah, like those type of people, this iPad is very useful. I know there's a countless articles and videos talking about the problem that occurs in this mini LED, which is the blooming stuff that happens in this display. But if you don't max out the brightness in a pitch black room with the white text on it, you will not see the blooming effect of this tablet, and you will not have any problem with this tablet, so don't worry about it. Bunch of articles put as a problem in this situation, but they put problem because it's very clickbaity and people will click on the article. That's why they put problem, but it's not a problem. You don't have to worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Not having a 3.5mm headphone jack is still kind of bummer. I still kind of use it for video editing and other type of stuff, but having a 4 stereo speakers that goes pretty loud on this tablet is super nice to have it when you have your friend around and you just want to play music and stuff or watch movies in general. This year's iPad carries the same exact main camera situation from the previous iPad Pro, which is 12 megapixel f1.8 wide camera, 10 megapixel f2.4 125 degrees ultra wide camera, and LiDAR sensor, which is not bad. You can shoot up to 4K 60 frames per second on the video side, and the photo quality is actually not bad at all. Like, it's basically an iPhone camera on a tablet. but please don't be that person. However, I think this ear's selfie camera is actually really useful. The iPad carries 12 megapixel f2.4 122 degrees ultra wide angle lens, which is pretty nice to have since Zoom and FaceTime is like a major thing to do in these days, and a lot of people will pretty appreciate this spec bump on selfie camera on this iPad. The video HDR and the microphone quality on this selfie camera, it's not bad at all. I mean, it's pretty good and it goes pretty wide, so if you want to take a group selfie with iPad, you can totally do it, but please don't do it, you look ridiculous. I mean, you only can shoot up to 1080p with this selfie camera. When iPhone 12, you can shoot up to 4K on the selfie camera. And the Face ID angle didn't really change at all. And the distortion of the selfie camera is pretty bad. However, having an ultra wide angle camera is really awesome for a selfie, because in these days, a bunch of people are doing like family Zoom call, friends Zoom call, and you're not the only person who's gonna be on the camera. You know, there's multiple people on the camera. Also, the new center stage feature on this iPad, it's pretty cool. However, I can't really figure out when I can use it or when do I actually need it, because like I don't have a big ass island kitchen or big ass living room. I will pretty much like stand right in front of my iPad and talk to someone, so I don't really move around or anything. And even if I move around, people don't really care of me being center of the frame. Like, it gives a lot of people a wow effect, like it will entertain people, but that's about it. Like, that's about it. The battery life on this iPad is totally fine. You can use it full day easily, and I can reach around 9 hours of screen on time daily, and I had no problem when it comes to battery life. If you guys want to know more precise information about the battery life of this model, please check out the video right here, which I did the real day in the life review, like in the real day in the life situation of the usage of this iPad. But this iPad does not have like 2-3 days worth of battery life. I mean, if you want to go on a weekend trip with your iPad, just take a charger or a mobile battery with you and you'll be totally fine. So don't worry about battery life. You'll be solid. The Thunderbolt 3 and USB-C 4 definitely fasten the data transfer between the tablet and the external SSD and stuff. However, when you plug into a USB-C supported external display, the iPad will still mirror it. It will not utilize as a second monitor, and it's kind of bummer because I was very looking forward to it. Also, the aspect ratio is still 4:3, not 16:9. So that's kind of bummer as well, and I'm waiting for iPadOS 15's update. However, there's a couple stuff that I don't like about owning a bigger size iPad compared to 11-inch. Number one, it's kind of hard to watch video or read articles or books when you're lying down on your back and you're trying to hold your iPad in front of your face. Since this display is really big and the 12.9-inch is a bit heavier than the 11-inch, I felt a little uncomfortable when I'm in that position, and that's like my primary position for using iPad for content consumption. So I was like, I really need a serious grip strength for this, and I was a little uncomfortable for it. And the second thing is that I usually take my PC and iPad everywhere I go. I have both in my bag, and having my 15-inch MacBook Pro and 12.9-inch iPad Pro in one bag makes my bag super bulky, and it will limit my bag choice as well. I will only able to use a backpack that can install both of these devices, and both of them are freaking huge. And lastly, although this 12.9-inch liquid Retina XDR display looks very beautiful, I think I will end up watching or consuming way more content than I usually do on iPad, because in my real day in the life review of 12.9-inch, I was watching a lot of videos and I wasn't tired for it. I was actually enjoying watching a lot of content, and that will make me so unproductive. And for me, iPad is a creation machine more than a consumption machine. I take a lot of notes using whiteboard, come up with new ideas and stuff on my iPad. So if I kept using this 12.9-inch, I will end up procrastinating a lot, and I don't really want to do that. And I know it's kind of hard to let anything away from your life that's like super pleasurable, but I kind of have to return this because I just don't want to use iPad as a consumption device, because I will be a total waste man. Anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button, and please hit the sub and notification bell if you guys like my content as well. Anyway guys, these twos are my other iPad videos, and this is my most recent video, and this is my channel. I will see you guys next time. My name is Peace Guys, and you guys already know. Peace out guys.